want you to imagine yourselves in the following situation. You have just been warned by the Wizard Council that you have been cursed. You don't know why, and you don't know what the curse is or when it's going to take effect. And you're not a wizard, you're just a normal guy working a bank and everything. So, what do you do in the situation? Do you try to break the curse alone? Do you try to ask someone for help? Do you try to talk directly to the Wizard Council and be like, hey, Wizard Council, what is going on? Can you explain to me? This might sound like a premise of a fantasy series, but I'm actually talking about The Trial by Franz Kafka. And yes, this is the Kafka that I read in the shore. This joke never gets old. So what's the deal with all those wizards and shit? Because if you read the book and don't know what I'm talking about. You see, the world that Kafka created, the government, the everything is so abstract, it's so weird that it might as well be magic, right? The charges that the protagonist faces feel like kind of a curse, you know, that someone casted on him and it's going to happen at some point. He doesn't know when, he doesn't know why, you gotta figure this out. If I can so easily change the government into a wizard council, then I guess that the book really isn't about that, right? It's not a mystery that we see unraveling before our eyes. It's actually about following this dude and seeing him fuck up all the time. Because you see, this guy is under the impression that he is a fantasy hero and he will be able to sort out things their own way and will be able to fix the government and fix corruption. But the problem is that every single thing that he does ends up fucking him over. Be it in his job, be it in his trial, be it in unintended consequences like getting two guys whipped. This book actually reminds me a lot of Brazil, the movie, not the country. Because here's the thing, Brazil is a story about a young man that lives in a really weird place, which is ironically Britain. The interesting thing is that I've seen a lot of people talk about Terry Gilliam, you know, like, oh, because he has foreseen the future, he's a genius, he has guessed that the government is very bureaucratic, and that's not what the movie's about. It's not really about the dystopia that he lives in, it's not about the world, but about the character himself and how much he sucks, about how much he's this upper class guy that dreams about being a hero, about doing something important, but he doesn't. He just gets lost in his daydreams and gets obsessed with this girl. Yeah, that's what the movie's about, and I can prove it. And this book reminds me of Brazil very much, because we see this guy and we see that he wants to fix the system. He wants to get over it and he wants to be better than everything that surrounds him, but kind of a spoiler, he won't succeed. And it is a pretty harrowing experience. This book is very claustrophobic. Everywhere that this guy goes trying to fix the problem is so narrow or so dark, and it's not a pleasant book to read. He won't go into a meadow with flowers. No, he's going to go into someone's attic and everything is really short and everyone works like this, you know, like shrimp. And it's a story about being faced with with an alien system of bureaucracy and losing. It kind of feels like a Lovecraftian horror story, I guess. I never read the guy. I suppose that it feels like facing some kind of cosmic horror, something that is much bigger than yourself, and every time that you try to do something, it responds in unimaginable ways, in ways that you could not guess that it would happen. And instead of, you know, looking for help, instead of trying to find someone that actually understands the beast and is able to help you, you just try to face it on your own with disastrous results. This is The Trial by Kafka. It's not a pleasant book. I guess it's easy to read. I'm actually really surprised that Kafka is on the Patrician list. It's actually in several entry-level lists in 4chan, so Don't worry about it being too hard because it won't be, but it's not going to be pleasant. So if you're looking for a book that to relax, distress, that ain't it. That ain't it. But it's worth reading anyway. I do recommend it. So this is a positive recommendation, and I guess I see you next time. Bye bye.